Hello. Doing Pirkei Avos again, one Mishna. And I'm going to do, this time, Mishna 22 on chapter 5. And what does this Mishnah say? Chaf Beis says, Hu haya oimer, ben chamesh shanim lemikra, ben eser shanim lemishna, ben shalosh esrei lemitzvos, ben chamesh esrei ligmora, ben shimoine esrei lechupa, ben esrim lirdoif, ben shaloshim lechoyach, ben arbaim levina, ben chamishim le'etza. He used to say a 5-year-old is at the age for the study of Scripture, a 10-year-old for the study of Mishnah, a 13-year-old for the obligation to observe the mitzvahs, a 15-year-old for the study of Talmud, an 18-year-old for marriage, a 20-year-old for the pursuit of a livelihood, a 30-year-old for full strength, a 40-year-old for understanding, a 50-year-old for the ability to offer counsel. So, Hu haya oimer. He used to say, according to Midrash Shmuel, citing Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Shlomo and others. These are not the words of Yehuda ben Taima, nor were they originally part of Avos. They are rather the words of Shmuel HaKatan. See Tosfos Yom Tov. Beis Yosef on Orach Chaim 1038 Melechet Shlomo. Our Abarbanel cites those who attribute them to Ben Hehe. The Rebbe Likud Sichos, volume 17, page 394, footnote 51. And this refers to the aforementioned opinion of Midrash Shmuel and provides support from Rambam's version of the Mishnah as well as from several Mishnaic manuscripts. See, however, Biurim, where the Rebbe argues that according to the sitter of Rabbi Shner Zalman of Liadi the Alter Rebbe, it was in fact Yehuda ben Taima who would say these words. Ben chamesh shanim lemikra. 5 years is the age for the study of Scripture. And when they say the study of Scripture, I think it's like Chumash, like basically the written Torah. At age 3, we begin teaching the child the letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the alphabet, and the vowels. As soon as the child can speak, he is taught the verses of Torah, Tziva, and Shema Yisrael, as well as other verses. In the time of the Mishnah, from age 5 through 10, children were taught to master all of Scripture, including the prophets and the writing. So that means from the age of 5 through 10, the children were taught to master the entire Tanakh. From 10 through 15, they mastered all of the Mishnah. From 15 to 20, they would master all of the Talmud. That means entire Gemara. Today, however, because in our books of Scripture, the words are vowelized and can therefore be read without the aid of a teacher, children do not need to master Scripture at a young age, since they can learn it on their own as they grow older. Similarly, because the Mishnah and Talmud are studied from books, children do not need to master it by heart at a young age. Rather, the goal of the teacher is to give the students the tools that will enable them to study Talmud and Jewish law on their own. This is from the Alter Rebbe Hilchos Talmud Torah, the laws of learning Torah. La Mishna Ligmora. So the Mishnah and the Talmud. Although the Talmud is more complex than Mishnah, and Mishnah more than Scripture, the same 5 years is allotted for the study of each one. This is because as children mature, they are capable of learning more in a shorter period of time. And that's from Midrash Shmuel. According to his way, Sefer Chassidim states that we should educate students according to their aptitudes. Students that show an aptitude for the study of Scripture, but not Talmud, should not be pressured to study Talmud right away. Students that reach 15 years of age and are not succeeded in Talmud study should be taught other subjects such as halachic works, midrash, and the like, cited by Moam Loez. Ben Shalosh Esrei Lemitzvos, a 13-year-old for the obligation to observe the mitzvos. The moment children reach the age of 13 or 12 in the case of girls, their godly souls fully enter them. This is from the Shulchan Aruch Harav, Orach Chaim 4.2, Mahadura Batra. Shulchan Aruch Harav is the Alter Rebbe's view of the Shulchan Aruch. The halachic source for the concept of bar mitzvah is a subject of debate. Some maintain that it is derived from a scriptural verse that refers to Simeon and Levi as men when Levi was 13 years of age. Others maintain that it is one of the measurements taught orally to Moses at Sinai. See the Torah Chumash Bereshis Kehos. It's in 34:25. Ben Esrim Lir Doif. 20 is the pursuit of a livelihood. Until 20, it is his father's duty to educate him in Torah and mitzvos, marry him off, and support him. After 20, he must carry these responsibilities himself. Rabbi Moshe Alaskar. After spending his youth immersed in Torah study to establish his foundation for life, he must now enter the realm of deed and pursue good deeds. Since as Ramban Shimon ben Gamliel taught above 117, not study but deed is the essential thing, Midrash Shmuel. So the main thing is the mitzvos, the actual deeds, not just the studying. You study in order that you're able to do the mitzvos. Torah is mainly a guide so you can know what to do afterwards. And that's why they say Maisu Ikr, the action is the main thing. Until 20, man is meant to be fully immersed in the world of Torah study. 20 is the age to leave the cocoon of Torah study and bring its light to the world. See the Rebbe in Biurim. A challenging age. Ibn Ezra composed a poem called Ben Adama. Based on this Mishna, the poem is recited by some Sephardic communities on Yom Kippur. Regarding 20, the poem reads, "How delightful are the days of the 20-year-old. Light as a young deer, he skips upon the hills, disregards reproof, mocks the voice of teachers. At this age, man's evil inclination attains a new degree of intensity, especially if he is not yet married. He will feel an urge to pursue carnal pleasures, Abarbanel. He should therefore aggressively pursue marriage and not postpone it to a later age. Mary. It's Meiri. That's the source is Mary. It's funny, it almost sounds like Mary says you should get married. In any case, he should pursue and take control of his evil inclination to prevent it from derailing his life. Patach Einayim. Other interpretations. Bartanura. At 20, his sins becomes punishable by the heavenly court and divine justice will pursue him. Before 20, his sins are not punishable by heaven. Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Shlomo. 20 is the age he can go to war and pursue the enemy, since having married at 18 and remaining at home for 1 year, he can now go to war in his 20th year. Shloshim Lechoyach. 30, that's full strength. The Leviim were inducted into the strenuous work of carrying the objects of the tabernacle of the Mishkan at age 30. For at 30, a person is at the height of his strength. That's from Rabbi Bechaya. He should therefore channel this strength toward the service of God. Again, that's Mary. From Ibn Ezra's poem, at 30 he stands up and takes a look. Behold, he is trapped in a net. Bowman, hound, him all around, the wishes of his children and his wife. Arbaim Levina, 40, understanding. The Midrash thus relates that Abraham was 40 years old when he intellectually recognized his Creator's existence. That's Mary. From Ibn Ezra's poem, Restless and Subdued, he reaches 40, happy with his lot, whether harsh or pleasant. Ben Chamishim Le'etza, 50, the ability to offer counsel. At this age, he has both the life experiences and wisdom that enable him to counsel others. Again, that's from Mary. Now that he has attained a profound degree of understanding and Torah knowledge, he must focus on sharing that wisdom with others. And that's from Midrash Shmuel. The Leviim similarly went into semi-retirement at 50 and instead served their brethren. An example advised and trained the younger Leviim. That's in Bamidbar 8:25 Barchanura, or Numbers, however you want to call that. Midrash Shmuel derives from this that one should not seek advice from anyone under 50. From Ibn Ezra's poem, at 50, he remembers the days of vanity. Like, not to him is all the wealth of the universe, for he fears maybe his time is nearing. Oh, wait, I didn't even finish the rest of the Mishnah. So, the rest of the Mishnah, which I didn't read yet, was Ben Shishim Lazikna, Ben Shivim Leseva, Ben Shmoinim Ligvura, Ben Tishim La Shuach, Ben Mea, Ki'ilu Meis Ve'avar, Uvatel Min Ha'olam. So at the age of 60 years old is the age for maturity. A 70-year-old for ripe old age, an 80-year-old for strength, a 90-year-old for bending forward, a 100-year-old is as if he were dead, passed away, and ceased from the world. And then it says, Rabbi Hanania ben Akashia, Oimer Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Lezakois Es Yisrael, Lefichach, Hirba Lahem Teira Umitzvois, Shenamar Adonai Chafetz, Laman Tzidko Yagdil Torah V'Yadir. Rabbi Hanania ben Akashia said, the Holy One, blessed be He, wished to make Israel meritorious. He therefore increased for them Torah and mitzvahs, as it says in Isaiah 42:21. God desired for the sake of Israel's righteousness to make the Torah great and glorious. Malkot 3:16. Okay, so from Ibn Ezra's poem, at 50, he remembers the days of vanity. Like, not to him is all the wealth of the universe, for he fears maybe his time is nearing. Ben Shishim Zikna, 60 is maturity. Zikna in Hebrew, which connotes one who has acquired wisdom. Kedushin 32b. As the body weakens, the mind grows stronger. It can now perceive abstract concepts formerly beyond its grasp. Maharal Midrash Shmuel. Ben Shivim Liseva. 70 is a ripe old age. At 70, the end of the typical lifespan, one has lived a full life. One who reaches 80 has been blessed with an extra measure of strength from God. It's from Mefarshim, from the Psalms 90:10. I think the 10th verse of Kapitel 90. And it is capable of achieving an even greater perfection. See Maharal. Ben Tishim La Shuach. 90 is bending forward. Even after his extensive achievements, he remains humble. This humility causes his body to instinctively bend forward, the Rebbe and Biurim. Others translate the phrase as at 90 for speech, referring to the speech of prayer. See Genesis, Bereshit 24:63. And Torah study. See Psalms 119:97, Midrash Shmuel, Sefer HaMaimorim, Malukot 1:452. He prays without any movement. Only his lips move, but his voice pierces the heavens. Notes are chesed. Ben Mea uvatel min ha'olam. 100 ceased from the world. As explained at the beginning of this chapter, the world was created with 10 utterances. Everything in the world is therefore configured in units of 10. Accordingly, man's life is divided into 10 units of 10. One who lives a spiritually full life for 100 years has reached a state of spiritual perfection. He is now dead in a positive sense, freed from limitations of an earthly consciousness. He perceives reality with the perspective of one who has passed on the world of truth. The Rebbe and Biurim see Zerora Yemen. And that concludes the Mishnah. Everybody have a good Shabbos. Mashiach now.